Yes, it's a new thing. So, yeah. And also that, that's how I was checking. She and I both read it, you know, separately, and I read it on the same thing. And I said, yeah, that's you. I thought, we only know. If things would have been, you know, these people would have been understanding. You got one. Yeah, like, why are you
I don't know. I like to see stuff like that.
All right. Nice.
I'm interested in pioneers. But the trouble is there's a lot of I'm starting to read a book now that's talking about school living intelligence and relations of mind. And her flow is so good, so it's all information. So, you know, we're reading but there's argument. But his argument is that
well, it can't be that helpful the way it's coming in, so sorry about that. But we'll go.
you don't hear publicize their beliefs.
Sure it is. It's she's
Tell Anna where, and that's Abby. Tell them where we went Friday afternoon. No. Oh, you did? Yes, we went to Cribbage.
We had campus last week, so we didn't get to go. We haven't. We've had something on that. Maybe this week. We have something this week.
Yeah,
But the next week, he said, he doesn't have to get fall weeks, and then we went. He was asking about
which
this.
camp are you going to?
No, not this one coming up. Okay, he did one with Kentucky camp at Willow Hill, and then he's doing a Lincoln. Yeah. So like the one of the
They can't do that on that.
yeah. Oh yeah.
That
Yeah.
they really have some of it.
That's when I found out about Kentucky camp, and later in the summer they're doing a new thing also. One of the I don't know. Oh.
In Georgia, you can't get a driver's license until and this is
Yeah.
I got this theory. Oh, yeah. First of all, y'all make me want to go there.
yes, when she was here last year, it was on here.
What did they do about you?
That's her last name. Oh, that's talking about when we were later. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I heard that, but I forgot. That's right to the talk.
Yeah, she was married with this Hi.
because I got my license last month. And I didn't realize that in Georgia, they give you 8 years, and I was laughing at that. She goes, what's so funny? I said, I don't think I'm gonna be driving in 8 years. So I'm hoping I'll be able to drive in 8 years.
I'm Olivia Burton, Alicia.
You'll probably be very polite. I'll be 72 next month.
I thought you might be pushing.
Still here. I always tell people I'm high mileage.
Okay.
Well, I'm not sure what that phone was.
Okay.
Poor maintenance.
I think that's true of many of us.
I don't think
Sophia.
Some people still got it, I admire them very much.
I found out from one of those people
Oh, yeah. I can tell my age now. I cut the lawn the other day. Went inside and I fell asleep there. My sister goes, are you okay? I said, well, I'm not as good with the heat as I used to. There he is.
I don't know. Some people have what they call a resting beach face. Mine's just rested sick looking or something. A lot of times people want to
Save the back row for the lights are
Save your stuff.
sure. They get shipped over to Africa.
But I figured, that's what I'm hoping. Now, my eyes have been going bad. I'm not even sure.
I'm surprised my eyes are still good. Actually, I've actually been a diabetic 35 years. I'm shocked that I'm still hanging in there.
Well, my doctor says my eyes are good. I don't know if you can see it.
No more than the rest of us.
Well, normally in the last couple of weeks, my eyes are noticeable.
I took some antihistamine last night. I passed out on the couch. So I woke up at like 11:45 and I'm like, where am I?
One of those deals. Is it still today or is it tomorrow?
A couple weekends ago, I woke up and I thought it was Saturday, and exactly Sunday. And I'm laying there for this, not one. So I looked at my phone and it's like Sunday. But
I'm mildly irritated at my phone calls. One of the things it does, it seems to be kind of random as to whether or not it decides to show you the date. You know, if I really want to get the whole thing, what do I think? Should be at the top. I got to push the button.
Welcome and good morning. Come, whoever you are, holding various beliefs, whatever your skin color or national origin, whatever your age or gender identity, whatever your abilities, whomever you love. You are welcome at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Statesboro. You are welcome in this, our religious home. We extend a warm welcome to any visitors and guests. If you are a visitor, a guest, and would like, we invite you to take a moment now to introduce yourself. Anyone? And if we do have anyone who's visiting,
She's keeping a low profile.
I'll introduce I've been before, but I'm Olivia Burnson. This is my daughter Sophia and my husband Roger, and we are Alicia or B-Dots. I'm her daughter.
Great.
Yeah.
Welcome. Good to have you here this morning. And
We have Laura Gonzalez Angeles is here this morning as a visitor, as a speaker.
Morning. And to anyone who is visiting, we hope that you have given or will give us some contact information in our guest registry, which is near the front entrance or on our website, www.uustatesboro.org, so that we can send more information. Thank you, members and guests, for sharing your resources during our offertory later in the service, or again, you can do that via the website. In the month of June, half of our offering that is not designated as pledge is being donated to Borough Prize and our Share the Plate program. Now, I invite you to join with me in reciting our congregational affirmation. Love is the spirit of this fellowship, and service is this prayer. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Our worship leader this morning, for a second Sunday, because that's the way she signed up, the talented and beautiful Jean Bryant.
And it's in my contract that I am introduced that way. Good morning, let us worship together. Here we go. We begin with the lighting of our chalice, a symbol of our religious heritage. I know I'm not good with this, right? Here we go. Please join me in reciting our chalice reading, and then rise and sing Rise Up the Flame twice. Very nice. This is our chalice of love and light, uniting us all by day and night. Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, show to us beauty, vision, and joy. Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, show to us beauty, vision, and joy. Let us honor the light within each other as we greet those seated nearby.
Well, let's make it officially.
But if you want to stay where you are, I'm certain you can see you can do it. This story is called With Lots of Love, and it's by Gonzalez Angeles. Rocio had a new home, but she really missed her other home. The the little house where she used to live with Abuela, Tia Rosa, and her cousins. She missed Abuela's small grocery store where her grandmother sold fresh fruits, vegetables, pan dulce, and ice pops made of watermelon, mango, and coconut cream. Rocio used to visit Abuela's store every day. Abuela always called out, "Hola, mi amor!" Her voice sounded like a faraway flute. A mini grocery store. Sometimes Rocio closed her eyes and pretended she was back at Abuela's store. The smell of spicy peppers and burnt sugar danced in her nose, and Abuela's gentle voice played in her ear. What Abuela means? Grandmother. So Abuela's grandmother. She could hear too the soft rustling of piñatas that hung from the ceiling. She missed those piñatas that Abuela made herself. They swayed and whispered every time she walked into the store. And she missed the sweet treats made from marmalade, sweet milk, and fruit that spilled from them at celebrations. If only she had asked Abuela to make her a piñata to decorate her new room in the United States. Rocio missed other things too. The banduelos drizzled with honey that Abuela made for everyone, and the extra sweet coffee that Abuela made just for her. She missed Abuela's warm tortillas and the way they smelled was fresh and sweet, like damp earth after a soft rain. There's a letter. She missed the pretty song of her language. She missed gazing out at the blue-black night sprinkled with stars with Abuela at bedtime. Most of all, she missed Abuela. She looked up at the nighttime sky from the window of her new house. It was full of stars, too. She searched for the brightest star and made a wish. In the morning, Rocio woke to Mama, Papa, her brother, and her sister singing Las Mañanitas. She smiled as they sang about the beauty of the morning she was born. And then Mama pointed to a box and said, "Got a package in the mail this morning." She jumped out of bed and ran to it. She recognized Abuela's crooked handwriting right away. Con mucho amor, with lots of love. Inside was a dazzling star made of bright ruffled paper. Shiny streamers hung from its pointed tips. Rocio took it out and her eyes filled with tears. Beneath it, she noticed a smaller package, a cloth towel stitched with Rocio's name. She closed her eyes and held it to her cheek. She smelled the sweet earthy smell. Inside were tortillas perfectly shaped by Abuela's gentle hand. And then she noticed one last gift. It was a picture of Abuela, Tia, and her cousins holding a banner in front of Abuela's grocery store. Feliz cumpleaños, Rocio. Happy birthday. She kissed the picture and thought of the star she had wished on last night. Abuela had plucked it from the sky and sent it to her. That night, the piñata hung above Rocio's bed. The picture sat on her nightstand, and she blew Abuela a goodnight kiss. She watched as it traveled out of her window, through the night sky, past so many stars, where it landed back home on Abuela's cheek with lots of love. That's our story. Sometimes it's hard to get used to a new place, isn't it? Yes. But it helps to have things that remind you of your other places. So you guys want to stand up with me? Let's lead everybody in our children's affirmation. And then if you're on the ends, if you would make our bridge, and we'll sing our children out. We are Unitarian Universalists, people of open minds, loving hearts, and helping hands. Here we go. Now let's have some music. Ready? I say it.
Arms, we shelter you. You warm our hearts as you pass through. May our love guide you as you grow, to help you learn and help you grow.
Listen to these words. This is from the book of Leviticus. This is the New International Version, verses 33 and 34. When a foreigner resides among you in your land, do not mistreat them. The foreigner residing among you must be treated as your native born. Love them as yourself, for you were foreigners in Egypt, and I am the Lord your God. Let us pause for a few moments of meditation or reflection. Our speaker today is known to many of you, Laura Gonzalez. She is a teacher at Statesboro High School. Please come.
Good morning. Thank you all for having me here today. I think what I want to do is first tell you guys a little bit about me and my story, but I also want to say that everyone's story is different. Every single person who comes here into this country has a different story. So yesterday I was actually asked, why do you guys come here? And it's a valid question, very valid. I didn't take it like offensively at all. So I first came here when I was 7 years old. I lived in Mexico with my mom and my brother. He was 3 years old at the time, 7. And my dad lived here. He moved here a few years prior to us moving here. And as you heard in the story about missing abuela, right? Because the children were here and they missed abuela back home. For me, it was the other way around. I was in Mexico. I missed my father who lived here. I would talk on the phone with my dad all the time, and he would tell me, tell your mom that she can come here and you guys will wait in Mexico and we'll come back. My mom never wanted to do that. And, you know, I don't hold it against my dad or my mom. Finally, my mom made the decision to bring us here and undocumented. So I do remember the journey. I do remember a lot of things about it. I do remember the moment that I had to put my toys away, the few toys that I had. I do remember that we grabbed bed sheets and put them over our couches and tables. We had one little tiny couch, one bed, and one table. Our house was not really a house, it was one little room, and it was made out of rocks and mud. That was our home. So I was blessed that, thanks to my dad prior to my dad coming here, it wasn't that way, always. My parents went through a lot more harder things than I did. So my mom grew up practically on her own and her siblings. My grandma worked in Mexico City, trying to provide for her children. My dad, his dad was an alcoholic. His mom passed away when he was 6, so they were also being raised on their own. His grandma actually took them in and raised them. So when my dad came here, that was the last time he saw his grandma because she passed away and he was never able to go back and see her again. So I do think about my parents' sacrifice a lot. I think about how my father never got to see his grandma or his mom again. I think about how my parents have to live here. Always thinking about when are we going to get detained and sent back. And you know, when my mom made that choice to come here, I'm not sure if she knew everything that, you know, we were going to have to face, but she did know that we were going to be together and that she had hope that we would have a better life. So that is why she made that sacrifice. It was an experience that I have not forgotten. I was 7 years old, I remember. It was very tough. Thankfully, we found people throughout our journey who were there to help us. And that is one of the reasons why I believe in helping others, because people helped us when we were struggling, when we didn't have much. When we finally arrived here, we had to, you know, go to school, and then that was another journey. We didn't speak the language at all. So whenever we arrived here, they wanted to put us a grade back, and my mom, even though she didn't speak the language, she still advocated for me. And she told them that, you know, she shouldn't go back to 2nd grade. She already finished 2nd grade in Mexico. And she stayed on that and stayed on that. And thankfully, I didn't get held back like some of my friends did. Because their parents, they just listened to what the teachers said and suggested and went with it. So that is another reason why I became a teacher, because I wanted to advocate for my community. So after I finished elementary school at Langston, I went to Langston Middle, then Statesboro High, and I knew from the moment we came here, I knew that I was different. I knew that my situation was going to be different from everybody else's. I knew at 7 years old that I was undocumented. It wasn't explained to me by my parents. I just knew. I just knew that it was different. So when I was in high school and all of my friends were getting their driver's licenses and they would ask why I didn't have one, I don't think I was courageous enough to speak up and say, well, I'm undocumented. I didn't think that I wanted to have to explain to other teenagers because sometimes they can be a little cruel. So I did it. I kept it to myself until my senior year because it was very hard to go to college. I went to my counselor and told him I'm undocumented. That was the first time I ever told the teacher or anybody at school that I was undocumented. And I said, I'm undocumented, but I want to go to college. And he told me, I'm sorry, you can't go to college. Undocumented people can't go to college. So, yeah. There were lots of tears. 17 years old. And you're trying to understand a lot of things. You're trying to work hard, you know. You make the good grades that they told you to make. You do the community service that you're advised to do, and it changes you. Doing community services change you. And then, you know, you are involved in a lot of extracurricular activities because, again, they tell you, you know, those things will help you get scholarships. And then you help out your classmates because, again, those things are supposed to help you get to college and get scholarships. Unfortunately, that wasn't good enough. My high school years, I had to go through those years thinking that I had to do more to prove that I was good enough, that I was worth it. And after my counselor told me that I couldn't go to college, I started looking online, and I would go to bed really late trying to find any information that I could about where I could go to school, what scholarships I could apply for. And there wasn't much support that was given to me at the time. Ms. Maria Ray, as you all know, recently passed away. She was my mentor. I mean, she met me when I was 7. And she always helped me. She was my ESOL teacher. And then after I exited ESOL, she was still there, guiding me, helping me. And so we started applying for scholarships that were for Hispanic students. We started applying for schools that did not require for you to have a social security number, because I didn't have one. We did apply for scholarships that didn't have something at the bottom that said must be U.S. citizen or resident. So it was very heartbreaking every time I found a scholarship and I would be check, 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 check. Can't. And I was very angry. Because you find yourself in a moment where you worked so hard. Why am I still not good enough? And I found that there were scholarships out there for me. Very limited ones, but there were. And I found that there were schools who would accept me. I would have to pay out-of-state tuition, but I would be allowed to go. So having to pay out-of-state tuition, and then being limited on the scholarships that you could apply for and you could get, it was very challenging. So after trying so hard for an entire year, I gave up. And my parents also gave up. And so we decided that I was going to go back to Mexico, and I was going to pursue something in Mexico. I would be going back to a country that I had not been in a long time, that I vaguely remembered, and that again, all of my peers would be performing higher academically because they were there their entire lives versus me that I came here. So I was heading to work, or about to head out to work, and Ms. Maria Ray calls me. And she said, "Where are you?" She asked, "Where are you?" I said, "I'm home, but I'm about to head out for work." And she told me, "Don't go anywhere, just wait for me at your house." We only lived about 5 minutes away from each other, so she got there pretty quickly. And she said, I had already told her that I was going to move back to Mexico. And she told me, "You're not going anywhere. You're going to go to school here." And we found a way. We found a school that will accept you. We found scholarships that you qualify for. And I had already applied to that school. I have received my acceptance letter. I have already received a scholarship. But that school was a private school that charged $31,000 a year. And I only had $12,000 scholarship. But I had also applied to other scholarships, and I received them. They gave me those scholarships. And then Ms. Maria, she knew I was a few $1,000s short. So she tells me that there's a scholarship. Part of me thinks that she was my scholarship. My church as well helped me out a lot. I played the guitar for my church. I was in the choir for about 3 years, from 15 to 18. And I never charged anything. I just wanted to do it because I learned how to play the guitar, so I wanted to do it for my church. My priest also called me into his office with my mom and said, "We would like to give you a donation because you served our church and we never paid you anything, and we would like to give you this money." So I think I had a total of 5 or 7 scholarships, and it paid everything: room and board, like tuition, everything. My dad at the time was still not self-employed. He was working for someone, and his income wasn't what it is now, and so he was able to help me pay for 1 textbook. I did work, or started working, since I was 12, and I did have money saved up so that I could buy anything else that I would need. And I did work every summer, and I would work after school while I was in high school. And so I was able to save up money for school. And then that was my first year of college. I didn't know anything about, when they ask you, what do you want to major in? I didn't know any of those things. I just kind of went for a lot of things. Finally, I found what I was passionate about, and I said, I wish that I had someone during those difficult years in high school to help guide me to what I needed to do to be successful, to pursue something else after high school. So that is why I became a teacher, because I thought that would be where I could be close to the students, build a relationship with them. A lot of them, even if you wanna help them, if the relationship is not there, you haven't built that relationship, they will not trust you. They will not trust you with their stories, they will not trust you with everything, because they think that it's dangerous for people to know about them, for people to know about their families, and it's just risky. So once they meet someone who went through the same struggles, then they're able to open up. And I know that everyone means well and everybody wants to help. So I really do think that building those relationships is really, really, it's key into actually helping. So after after Young Harris College, I transferred to Armstrong, and I was there until I graduated. And then I did do my student teaching here at Statesboro High, but before I did my student teaching, I was able to get DACA after I graduated high school. I think I was in my first year of college. That's when DACA was introduced. And so we applied. We didn't think that it would actually work. We were all very like, oh, is this gonna work? But we had attorneys that came to our church at St. Matthew's, and they helped out everybody in the community. Whether you were Catholic or not, they were there to help. And so that's how we applied, because again, those attorney fees are not cheap. And even to apply for DACA is not cheap. I think at the time, the application was almost $600. And to renew, you have to renew every 2 years, more like a year and a half, because it takes forever to get your renewal. So that's another almost $600 every 2 years. And you know, they always say that it's gonna stay. Oh no, we're gonna get rid of it. No, it's gonna stay. No, we're gonna get rid of it. So it's that uncertainty. You don't know what's gonna happen. But we are grateful to have DACA. It gave us a social security number. It gave us the opportunity to get a driver's license. It gave us an opportunity to do internships. Because you could go to college, but if you were majoring in something that required an internship where you had to provide a social security number, then you couldn't study that. So it was very limited to what we could do. Once we had DACA, we had more opportunities. And one thing that it didn't allow us to do, it didn't allow us to travel, to go back home and to visit family that we haven't seen in years. But they had something called advanced parole. Advanced parole gives you the opportunity to leave the country under 3 reasons: either educational purposes, under work-related purposes, or humanitarian reasons. So I used the educational purposes. I went to study abroad in the Czech Republic for a semester, and that is what I used to travel and to go back to Mexico to see my dad's grandma. I was able to see her again, and I visited in 2016. And it had been 15 years that I had not been back, so everything was different. And I was by myself. I went by myself. But my aunt was still there, so she picked me up at the airport, and you know, I hadn't seen her in a very long time as well. But I was happy to see her. And then I went back to the Czech Republic, finished my semester, and then picked up my transcript, came back to the US, and I was told that I had a legal entry. I didn't know what that was. I didn't know what that meant, you know. And then later on I found out that if you have a legal entry and if you have DACA, then it would be easier to adjust status. Well, I did not know that until after I got married. My husband is a U.S. citizen. He's from Puerto Rico, and he did serve in the military. So when we met, I was already teaching at Statesboro High, and then a few years later, I think 3 years later, we got engaged and married, and I recently adjusted status about a year ago. Now, not everyone is under the same boat. Not everyone has DACA. Not everyone has a legal entry. Not everyone is married to a U.S. citizen. So, you know, I was able to adjust my status because my husband is a U.S. citizen. If it wouldn't have been for that, probably I would still have DACA. And with everything that's going on right now, my DACA expires in August. My green card expires next year. I spoke to a friend, and her mom's green card, they're trying to renew it. It's gonna take 42 months to renew the green card. That expires this year. And I'm thinking, okay, mine expires next year. So I'm already too late to renew to get it back on time. So with all this uncertainty going on, I am going to go ahead and work on renewing my green card. And also I'm going to renew my DACA in case my green card doesn't get back on time, I still have my backup. But it's one of those things that you rely on one thing and rely on another, and you feel like you have to have all of these, you know, you have to shield yourself so much. In that purse, I carry my Mexican passport, my green card, my advanced parole card, my DACA, my driver's license. All of those documents have to be in my bag 24/7. Because as you guys have seen, even if you are a U.S. citizen, but you look brown, then you're 30. And I have had family members who have gotten deported the previous years. I recently had a family member who got deported last week. And it's one of those things that I know it's gonna sound bad and it's gonna sound wrong, but it's probably so weird that I don't cry about it anymore. I did in the beginning. I did, and I would panic, you know, but I feel like I'm so numb to it now, and that tells me that that's even worse. Like, that's not okay. I shouldn't be numb to it. I shouldn't, but the way I see it is I can't be emotional at that moment because I need to think logically about what I can do to help. So that is what I do. And it's not just me, it's a lot of the people in the community, people who have DACA, people who are U.S. citizens, people who are residents. Everybody is helping the community out. And it's really nice to see everybody come together and help each other. Because I don't think this is about political views anymore. I think it is about how human beings should be treated. And I feel like every human being should be treated with dignity and respect. So I will be sticking around if you guys have any questions or anything afterwards. But thank you guys for having me here, and thank you for advocating for the migrant community in Statesboro.
Laura indicated she will stay for afterthoughts. So once we dismiss, there's coffee, and then come back, and we'll have time to meet and discuss. Well done. Here we are. The offering will now be given and received. Grateful appreciation of our shared hopes and values. Any offering, half of offerings not designated as a pledge, will go to Borough Pride. And I'm going for music this time, y'all. Let's see what happens.
Give thanks for the corn and the wheat that are reaped, for labor well done, and for barns that were deep, for the sun and the dew, and the sweet honeycomb, for the rose and the song, and the harvest brought home. Give thanks for the mills and the farms of our land, for craft and the strength in the work of our hands, for the beauty our artists and poets have wrought, for the hope and affection our friendships have brought.
These gifts were gratefully received and appreciated. And we're going to sing about it again. Okay. Now's the time for joys and concerns. If you have a joy or a concern that you would like to share, please come forward. Feel free to light a candle or drop a stone. If you would like to not come, if you just want to speak from your chair, I'll be more than glad to drop a stone or light a candle for you.
Everybody, my name is Michael. Jim, would you mind putting a stone in for us today? I have so much to be grateful for today. One is I get to hear my friend Laura talk and hear her story, which I just really appreciated, knowing all of that, learning all that about you. But also, 29 years ago today, I married this woman here. I was thinking about the other day, I'm 60 now, so, and, you know, of course we dated beforehand, so I literally spent half my life with this woman, or I should say she spent half my life with me. And she's so grateful to see me every day, so I'm counting that as a win. And I'm just grateful to be here with you guys. I've missed you the last 2 weeks while we were traveling. Thank you.
Yeah, that's done a joy.
Would you light a candle? This is for our Kiki Cannon and her dad, John Gruber. He's been very, very ill. As a matter of fact, last weekend he was in the ICU and they were really concerned, but he's back home now. But Kiki says that they could both use the good thoughts right now in prayers, and his recovery is being hard fought, and it's taking all both of them have to fight.
It's a joy to have so many people who attend this today. And I think they're here because of our speaker. And it was, most of you know that I had a small cabin in New Hampshire. And we have always said this, we have to have a sense of humor when we get through this life. And I gave the cabin to my two sons, and the attorney charged me $12 to put it in their ownership. Okay. So the minister that we like the most up in New Hampshire wrote this, and I had it laminated, and I'd like to share it with you. It said, wishful thinking is both sloppy and sentimental. We should think to wish instead to things a little closer to home. The courage to bear up under pain, the grace to take our successes lightly, the liberation that comes with forgiveness, the meaning to be found in giving ourselves to others, the patience to surmount things that are dragging us down, the joy to be gained in even the smallest endeavor, the wonder that lies between the sacred moments between birth and death. And his name is Bill Nelson.
I'd like to light a candle of thanks for Martha Hughes, who has agreed to pick up my recycling and who has given me much help and many other rides and other useful assistance.
Hi everybody, I'm Siri. I wanted to just quickly thank Laura especially for speaking this is a story. And also say how grateful I am to have got to spend a little time away from Statesboro down in Jekyll Island this past weekend with our good friend Eduardo, who many of you know from the Statesboro Migrant Supporter. He's supposed to be here today, but
he's just running late.
This though is for Laura's family and for every family that's scared right now. That is especially true for a handful of families that I think many people in this room have become very attached to in this community, and we're all hoping that we can make their lives, as much as they're still intact here, a little bit better. And I hope that more people will get involved and do what they can.
final candle in token, those joys and concerns that we all carry, but do not feel ready to share. I invite you now to a time of reflection, and both that spirit of life and love as we enter a time of prayer and reflection. May you know that we as a community are connected in these joys and concerns, that we may look to one another for support and affirmation. May we truly cherish this time we've shared together this morning in communion with each other and with all that we hold sacred. Amen. Blessed be. Now, normally we have a song here before we did Spirit of Life, but I found this reading, and we say service is our prayer, and I found this really appropriate. This is, if you want to look at it, it's a reading from the hymnal. It's it's number 462. It's not responsive. You're welcome. It is by Paul Robeson. I shall take my voice wherever there are those who want to hear the melody of freedom or the words that might inspire hope and courage in the face of despair and fear. My weapons are peaceful, for it is only by peace that peace can be attained. The song of freedom must prevail. Join me now. We're trying for music as we sing Spirit of Life.
Spirit of life, come unto me, sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion, blowing the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice, roots hold me close, wings set me free, Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Join me now as we extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame,
But not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Do we have any announcements?
I just wanted to say to any of you that are not already involved with the migrant support group but are interested, I'm happy to take your contact information and add you to our email list. We have an email that comes out every Sunday about kind of updating people about things that are going on in the group, and we're meeting every other week. This is our off week, and we're switching from Mondays to Wednesdays because Wednesday seems to be a better day, and we tend to move around. So the next meeting is going to be at Trinity Episcopal, whatever the date is, 2 weeks from this, or 1 week from this coming Wednesday. But I guess what I really want to say is, if you're interested, let me know and I'll get you on the mailing list. And I don't know how many of you are aware, but there have been ICE raids and an ICE presence in Statesboro, and people have been abducted. So it's a real thing that is very much happening in our community. But also, there are amazing people that are stepping up and being very, very helpful to the people that are left behind, to the people that need our support. So I'm so grateful to see that happen. And some of those people that have been very helpful are in this room today. So thank you to all of you.
I want to let everyone know there is a new sign-up sheet for hospitality. If you'd like to choose a Sunday to bring some refreshments, it's right by the kitchen door.
Any other announcements? And please rise as you are willing and able, and say out with us our benediction.
Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
Please, have some coffee. Join us in just a few minutes for talk now. Afterwards.
They're here. We're all
Just Sarah. Just Sarah. That's a very pretty name.